Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining. We are here at the IoT Evolution Expo in Florida, and we are joined by Oren Betzaleli, the VP and GM of Harman Connected Services. So Harman is here conducting a panel. Oren's going to be on it. So we thought this might be a good opportunity to catch up a little bit and talk about Internet of Things with Oren. So Oren, the first question for you is, what is Harman doing at an Internet of Things event?
You know, that's funny. I get this question a lot. Many people know Harman from audio, the great brand JBL, Harman Kardon, AKG. Some people know Harman from automotive. What many people don't know is what Harman has to do with Internet of Things. It started a couple of years ago when Harman acquired two companies. He acquired a company called Symphony Teleca, which was a software services company focusing around three main things, which we like to use the phrase, design, device, and data. So Symphony Teleca used to do software projects and software services that are around getting, designing the device, building the software for the device, connecting it to the cloud, running device management, analytics, and so on. And that was the core business of Symphony Teleca, together with another company that was acquired about the same time called Redband, which was one of the best companies around device management, software update over the air. And in between those two and some of the assets from Harman, we formed this new division called Connected Services, which is focused around, again, as I said, device, design, and data, and the full circle of IoT. From, again, designing the device, building the device, connecting it to the cloud, collecting data, analytics, and so on, which is, the full circle of what an IoT implementation is today. So that's a focus of our division.
Makes sense. But like I said, connected cars is something that people know Harman for. What else besides connected cars and automotive verticals can we expect the connected solutions or connected services to be available from Harman?
The connected car industry is probably one of those industries that adopted the philosophy of IoT the first and the fastest. But when we look at the industry today, we see so many other industries, from retail to healthcare. We have many use cases and many customers coming from the healthcare industry, collecting data, sending that data through the cloud, maybe to the healthcare company, maybe to the doctor. And when you think about it, it's exactly the same way as car, right? The car is connected, data is coming up and down, to the cloud, and maybe back to the car, and it's exactly the same way in healthcare.
Got it.
I'll give you another example of agriculture. We have another use case of a company who used to sell fertilizers. That was their business model. Now, what they did is they completely changed their business model into renting the farm, planting sensors in the ground, sensing how much water and how much nitrogen and how much oxygen and whatever right? Collecting that data, sending it to the cloud, analyzing it, and then send the commands and control to the tractor to tell the tractor in the field what to do in order to increase yield. So from selling fertilizers, they move into completely different business model, again, using or leveraging the IoT philosophy. And that's another use case that we've done with our customers. So healthcare, agriculture, retail, smart cities is a big industry, a big vertical that we are involved with. Many cities are now becoming smarter by connecting the infrastructure, by connecting schools, transportation, lighting, everything, right? Smart homes, smart buildings, the ability, to sense, for example, how many people are in a space, in a building, and by that, controlling the use of energy, heating, cooling, lighting, and so on. The number of use cases outside automotive are amazing. We learn about new use cases almost every day.
Yeah. So what does Harman bring to the table for a company that might be considering an IoT initiative?
So what Harman brings to the table is a combination of experience, which I think is the most important thing, right? Experience, people that have been doing that for many, many years. Experience in design. We have 300 people that are specialized in design, user experience design, industrial design, user interface design, to development, software engineering, right? Specifically around devices, around cloud, around analytics, not generic software engineering. So we bring that. We bring experience, we bring the skill set, we bring IP. We have a list of IP that we thought are most crucial to make an IoT project successful. Like I mentioned earlier, the over-the-air software update coming from Redmond. Like another component that we have today, we're calling IoT Gateway, which is a piece of product and hardware that helping you collect the data from sensors all over the area through practically any protocol and any network. Do some aggregation and some pre-processing before you just send all the data to the cloud, right? So we have a combination of skills and experience, right, with some IP, okay, and again touching the IoT across the cycle from the device all the way up to the cloud. So this is what we bring to our customers.
So tomorrow you have a panel, and on that panel you have a host of partners. You have Intel, you have Entrust, DataCard, you have Nielsen. Tell us about how Harman brings other players into the equation if there was an IoT initiative on the table.
That's one thing that people don't really understand, that maybe unlike some other technologies or other technology phenomena, IoT is not something that one company can do by itself. Right, so we, as I explained to you, we bring some experience, we bring some IP, but at the end of the day, in a different use cases, you need to bring other players as well. Yes. You need to create an ecosystem, and that ecosystem can involve, other technology players. It can involve, media players, content players. We have in automotive and some other cases, we have partners that bring content into the game. We have partners that bring a certain component of the cloud platform. Yeah. We obviously cooperate with many cloud platforms, by themselves. So the important thing to know is that we cannot just do it, and no one can do it alone. You need to create an ecosystem, and being part of Harman doesn't mean that we cannot work with practically every player in the industry, and we do, both in automotive and in any other industry as well.
Great. So just a parting thought for the viewers who are thinking about IoT or IoT initiative, something that they should be thinking about or be aware of as they make plans for IoT projects.
That really depends on who you are. When people think about IoT, they have, I'm a technology company, I can build IoT solution, but that's not always the case. So if you're a technology company that want to move into IoT, there is probably a set of things that you need to think of, learning the technology, understanding connectivity, understanding protocols, things that you may not have been working on in the past. But what's more interesting are those companies who've never done any technology, like the agriculture company that I shared with you earlier. Companies that are, had no technology, maybe they had some IT, but they never had to deal with devices and software and firmware, and they never had to deal with the communication over the air. So I think what this company needs to do is, first of all, they need to realize that they cannot do it by themselves. Yes. They need to understand that in order to be successful, in order to be fast to market, in order to be agile, they need to bring in the partners that can help them, lay out the solution, understand the architecture, bring in the different components, and make sure they are successful in their deployment.
Terrific. So for business transformation, it might not just be doing it yourself, or it doesn't matter if you're an IT company, you have to bring in the expertise, and you could just be an agricultural company or a non-automotive or automotive or industrial company and be able to have a lot more success with IoT than perhaps an IT company.
Absolutely, and you mentioned another thing that is very important to understand, that IoT, bringing a company into the IoT era is not only a technology change, it's a transformation. Yes. It's a business model transformation. Yes. Sometimes, you are changing, many times you're changing the way you interact with your customers. The journeys that your customers go through are different than what they used to be in the past. The way you interact with your employees can be completely different. Yeah. The way you make money and the business models. So it really is a transformational project rather than, let's introduce another set of technology.
Terrific. Well, this is very helpful. Thank you so much, Oren.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all for watching. If you need more information about Harman and its services, the easiest way to find out is to visit us on the website, services.harman.com, and we look forward to finding you there.
Thank you.
For joining.